So hello guys, it is Sour Punch Adults, and I wanted to talk about how Call of Duty developers have responded to our complaints about camping and large maps, and how that is reflected in the map design that we see today, compared to say 3 to 4 years ago. You'll see this COD 4 gameplay sort of fits with the topic at hand. This was actually my first game back in quite a while, and without conforming to the community's decree of COD 4 being the best untoppable game in COD history, it was a lot of fun. This game has aged very well. Back on topic, I was planning on making this commentary anyway, but they also just came out yesterday, I believe, with their announcement for their Vengeance DLC pack coming July 2nd, and there is something Vonderhaar says in that trailer that really reflects what I wanted to say. Starting off, when Black Ops 2 came out, I thought it was a very welcome change of pace. Yeah, it feels like the same COD it's always been, but there were a lot of small innovations that really made a difference to me, whether it be map size, map layout, gun balancing, class systems, or run speed. If you haven't noticed, the default run speed feels a lot faster in Black Ops 2 than past CODs, and that makes a huge difference in determining the pace and the play speed of the game. It really does. And I loved it. It was by no means a revolutionary separate game from the franchise, but I liked it. You can go ahead and hate on that all you want. It took longer than other Call of Duties to tire of for me, because of the way I play, which is like grinding for levels and challenges, etc., and the prestige system wasn't as infuriating in this game, getting rid of your camos and gun levels. But eventually, I started to get this really frustrated feeling with playing the game, ignoring all lag problems. I don't want to go into that. But I couldn't quite put a finger on what was causing that feeling for a while. But I think I know what that is for me, and it's the lack of options and openness for decisions in maps. I don't mean the number of maps to choose from. What it really is the number of flank routes and lines of sight and positions or places of elevation and advantage disappearing from the maps. If you aren't navigating the maps super cautiously, all of the gunfights you get into now are all fast-paced head-on-head gunfights, with the only control you have is trying to be the one behind more cover, and it's going to be the faster reaction time wins. Now it feels like a maze, where there are always concrete walls and sharp corners between you and enemies, and you can't look over the walls or through the walls. You're forced to turn the corner and test your luck. That is the complete opposite on the map block here, as you're seeing. There are countless places snipers can be on this map. I can pop up from behind a wall anywhere on this map and have a huge advantage on tons of people that don't see me. That is practically non-existent in Black Ops 2, because we wanted it. In fact, normally I would be rushing and flanking the snipers on this map, but I really felt like sniping because it's what I'm not getting anymore from Black Ops 2. Now, to put a better picture with what I'm trying to explain, this concept of very straightforward maps that appear more complex than they are, I want to dissect the map Encore. There are just so many great examples of what I'm talking about in this map. When I saw the trailers for this thing, I was excited. I was thinking like, wow, this is a really open map. It still looks small and compact, which is great, but look at all those places you can go. Will they let you climb up the sections of the stands, like go really up high and snipe people from there? Can you get into an elevated position in that main structure? This could turn out to be a really awesome map. Turns out, however, that it's pretty confined, like several other maps. The kind of jump spots and sniper spots I'm looking for are like high-rise style jump spots. I know a much better comparison to high-rise right now is Vertigo, but I'm not talking about style and appearance. I'm just talking about the type of places you could jump to. There were so many in high-rise. There was that entire crane you could get to and see the entire map if you went up there on the very top. One of the spawn buildings, you could jump to some scaffolding and get around this massive ledge to the top. That's what I'm hoping for in a map. So I guess that feeling of frustration is really that there are no observation places in any of the Black Ops 2 maps. There is no place where you can overlook everything. Like I said, it feels like you're caught in a maze and you can't peek over the walls. I want to go around and theater and showcase some of the jump spots and lines of sight that could have been in Encore, because there are a lot. First of all, this dumpster, the best line of sight in the game that almost existed. I haven't played on this map too many times, probably less than 20, and the percentage of time I spent in just this section of the map, much less time. Even so, I have witnessed 4 people in 4 separate games trying to jump onto this dumpster. The first time I saw it, I tried as well. And why? Because there is this hole in the metal that looks over the entire center stage area and more. That just feels like a line of sight that should exist. Let's move on. How about these bleachers? I think it would be so cool to jump up some boxes that already exist, by the way, and get up here and then walk around top and snipe unsuspecting people below. It would just be like sitting on top of the crane in high rise. You would kill a couple people that didn't see you, but you aren't staying there for very long. People will catch on, which is why this isn't overpowered. You could use this whole bleachers area to flank around to the other side. I feel like in older CODs, there was always this one really long flank route that if you had the patience, you could go all the way around. And nobody would be there and you would get lots of people from behind. Now it's like there are only ever 3 main ways you can go. Left, right, and center. Never any more. Hijacked, there's a left, a right, and a basement. Raid, there's the courtyard on one side, a pool on the other, and the kitchen center. Left, right, center. It feels like it never changes. There are boxes and crates all around this map that look like they should be jumpable. In fact, it seems like it was, at one point, possible to be on this section of the bleachers. In that trailer that they showed, there was this guy with the LMG, and do you see where he is? He's right here. He's on this small section of the bleachers. That adds a lot to this map, even something like that. Right now, the people in this little balcony have only 2 main places to worry about. This window and those stairs. With that whole section opened up, that adds a lot to the map. Of course, I know they make these trailers before tons of things are added and changed. There are hundreds of differences in the trailer versus how it looks now. You'll notice the buildings all look very different. No details such as colors and signs and barriers have been added. There's a set of random stairs that leads up to the stage in this trailer that they removed. But moving on to the other side, there is actually the perfect symmetrical counter to that dumpster line of sight I mentioned earlier. If you could climb these crates, you could poke your head just above this wall and see over the middle just like the one on the other side. I mean, that had to have been someone's plan at one point. Now let's look at this center building. There should not be boxes here. Come on. You should be able to go up those stairs, and there should be a ladder right here to match up with the break in the fence. Look at the platform up here. It lets you look over the whole back flank route and also provides another one, which is better in my opinion. But one ladder isn't good enough. Treyarch likes to have 2 ways, at least 2 ways, to get up somewhere. So on the other spawn side, how about jumping up these conveniently stacked speakers? And this metal here is conveniently cut short, so you can go in here, jump around on these things, look down at the entrance there, and that connects all of this, another place you could possibly go. If you wanted to get crazy with these jump spots and do some high-rise like stuff, you could even make it possible to jump onto this white thing and sit in this hydraulic arm lift crane thing. Not that is a good idea in any way, shape, or form, but it's damn fun. You can see everything from up here. Back to those stairs I mentioned opening up earlier, it also gives you access to this balcony here, which doesn't see much, but it is yet another counter for that window there. Also, there is an opening that leads to this place in here, which can also look down on that inner path there, and finally leads to this platform, which seems to be the master lookout for this map. And you're telling me this was never intended to be used in gameplay? I swear one team at Treyarch must design the map, and then they hand it off to a multiplayer balancing team that closes a bunch of things off. And yet, I don't think I can blame them. We made this happen with our pleas for change, which I loved at first, but now I'm starting to miss the complexity of the maps. I'm finally going to bring up this Vonderhaar quote that I mentioned earlier from the latest DLC trailer, which I think really echoes what I've been saying.
Vengeance addresses the community desire to have head-to-head, super-controlled gameplay that's pushing you, and the players who have the skill are the ones who are going to come out on top of those battles.
So yeah, that's exactly it. Except when he says most skilled players, it's really the most practiced and the players with the best reflexes, not as much about strategy and stealth. They make it sound like this is widening the skill gap, but I'm not so sure. I know I'd rather that those who are experts in the maps and strategy winning gunfights than reflexes alone. There is a balance in map design somewhere, not one that would please everyone, but one that would do the best that I think it can. I feel like large maps where you have to run for a minute to find anyone is bad. That's something that they're doing better. But small maps like this where you are always running into people face to face aren't that great either, for me at least. I think they could have the best of both worlds by having small yet complex maps, where you can always find a gunfight, but you do not have any idea where the person will be. It isn't as predictable as it is now. When I turn a corner in this game, I know exactly the 2 or 3 places someone could be looking at that corner from. Like I mentioned earlier, High Rise is a pretty good example of a map with a good open vertical warfare without needing an annoying array-sized map. If all those spots I just highlighted in Encore were somehow reality, the play of this map would change drastically. It wouldn't be the same map. They could almost make them 2 separate maps. I would love it. I know there are people with opinions on that completely disagree with what I'm saying, and I guess that's what I'll end with. What are your opinions on map design? What is the ideal layout of a map in your eyes? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day. Oh, and I thought this was funny. This was the very next game I found in CoD 4. See ya.